Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I am back. This is the finale of What If Deku Had Goku's Mindset. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. I hope you guys enjoyed the finale. And yeah, I don't really got a ton to say. If you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. On top of that, check the links in the description if you want to check out the Spotify and the Discord, stuff like that. Check it out. Feel free. You can go and leave suggestions for future what ifs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's all I got to say. And let's get right to the what if. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya, Mirio Togata will face off with Overhaul right now. Izuku faces off with Overhaul and they begin to scrap. But it's pretty obvious that in terms of a technical martial arts and also just full-on fighting, that Izuku outclasses him by quite a bit. And, well, let's just say this. Izuku continues an assault on Overhaul and begins to be picking up the pace extremely quickly. He's going at things extremely fast, fighting and brawling extremely quickly. And it's pretty obvious that Overhaul is getting massively overwhelmed. So he begins to try to turn the tide of the battle, trying to do various amounts of things, like utilizing his quirk to basically send spikes and different things at Izuku, but Izuku is unrelenting. He refuses to allow anything to get in his way, and with the utilization of 80 to 85% of One For All, Overhaul is massively behind in this fight. And even without Mirio's help, he would be destroying him at this point. But with Mirio's help and their combined tag team skills, with Mirio's just power and speed alongside it, it's obvious that Overhaul is massively overwhelmed and unable to actually react to anything that's going on. Eventually leading to Izuku grabbing onto Overhaul with Black Whip, slamming him on the ground, and capturing him entirely. Izuku would have Overhaul completely pinned and also subdued, and Izuku would watch as Mirio would go in for the final blow or the final hit and finish off Overhaul, knocking him out and defeating one of the biggest villains that they needed to handle in Japan in general, and which is pretty surprising because frankly there's just no way that things went so easily, that everything went so basic, that they were able to defeat him so quickly, and they were able to defeat him with very few casualties and really nothing to write home about. It's kind of an odd thing to even think about, because how was he just, losing so quickly? How did they defeat him so easily? In which the real answer is that Izuku's power combined with Mirio's technique and all of their techniques combined, it was pretty obvious that they were outclassing Overhaul. And Overhaul, on top of that, was not prepared and ready for a fight. Was far from ready for a fight against someone like Izuku and against someone like Mirio. He was just not ready. So it would leave him open and many others open, basically leading them down the path of, or Overhaul down the path of being defeated very quickly. And of course, they're going to have to deal with some things coming up very soon as well. But as Mirio and Izuku are actually heading out and they're about to go tell Sir Night-Eye of the news with Eri in hand, they would hear rumbling. They would hear the shaking and quaking of something coming, and Izuku doesn't know what it is, but he has a bad feeling about this. Danger sense begins to go crazy, telling him to basically move out of the way, get out of the way right now, in which Izuku would push Mirio and Eri out of the way as Gigantomachia would come barreling forward, punching them and sending them flying. And he would send Izuku flying through building after building. Izuku would then begin to fly upwards using floats, and he would look to see where this monster is. Seeing this giant being towering over even buildings, Izuku would charge in and would try to land hits to Gigantomachia, trying to take out its legs. But Gigantomachia's durability is insane. He even tries to wrap Black Whip around his legs to get him down, but it's really difficult to actually get Gigantomachia to his knees and or to his to the ground itself. He tries, but he struggles. He struggles his way, but luckily, Mirio was able to get Eri out of harm's way. And Izuku continues to try and stall for time against this monstrous creature, taking blow after blow, but also returning a hit and also hit after hit against Gigantomachia as well. And it seems like he's really just stalling for time as the heroes begin to kind of gather a unit that can come and help defeat Gigantomachia. But Izuku would be struggling. He could feel that his body is hurting more and more, and it doesn't seem like he's actually making sustainable work or damage to Gigantomachia. He tries to actually, utilize 100% of One for All, and every single punch he uses on Gigantomachia, yes, it damages him slightly, but also it hurts Izuku pretty much as well. So he's really stalling out and trying to damage him as much as possible, stall him out, and kind of make him gain wear and tear, hoping that the other heroes eventually kind of come and help out to a large degree. He tries to take him down once again, but luckily enough, many other heroes begin to arrive, helping Izuku out, and actually trying to get Gigantomachia off his feet. Eventually, with all the help of a ton of heroes, including Mirio, Sir Nidai, a ton of other heroes that are these giant form-like heroes, like Mount Lady and Ryukyu, all of these are helping massively, and they're all doing their absolute best, and eventually they're able to take him off his feet. This would lead him to basically seeing Midnight actually utilizing her quirk as well, trying to subdue Gigantomachia, in which Izuku just continues to try and uphold an onslaught on him, and also kind of uphold Black Whip surrounding him entirely. He's using everything in his arsenal to subdue Gigantomachia, and eventually they're able to get him down and knock him out. It took we're talking tons of heroes to do it, and this was a scary thing for them, because all they can think about is the fact that Gigantomachia was powerful. So much so that if Overhaul or All For One or other villains were combined with his strength, they might have not been able to handle him the way that they could have handled him. They weren't prepared. They weren't ready. And Gigantomachia was a surprise that they weren't ready for at all. But luckily enough, they were able to survive, and they were able to struggle their way through and defeat Gigantomachia with the help of a stockpile of heroes. We're talking countless numbers of them, but luckily enough, they were able to help out, and a lot of them were able to basically have a good showing here against Gigantomachia, and Izuku would just be happy that it would be handled for the most part. But this isn't the only thing that they're going to have to handle. They're gonna have to deal with Overhaul's Shie Hassaikai, and there is some, let's just say, issues with that as well. It's, for starters, trying to find the base of the Shie Hassaikai was pretty damn difficult. But on top of that, it's just the fact that they don't really know what's coming. But luckily enough, they have the help of many very powerful heroes, including people like Izuku, Mirio, Sir Nidai, and Aizawa, and many others as well. So the raid on the Shie Hassaikai base wouldn't go too difficult. It wouldn't be too difficult in the long run, and Izuku would obviously be able to help out massively during this time. And they were able to eventually arrest and actually determine that the Shie Hassaikai would be put to rest for good, at least for now. And they're able to handle, for the most part, what they had to handle in terms of dealing with the aftermath of getting rid of, or putting the one and only Overhaul, inside the base, or inside of basically a prison, which they were able to handle, and they were able to handle Overhaul actually easier than the actual base of the Shie Hassaikai, which luckily enough was still able to be handled, but they still had some determining factors that they had to deal with throughout this time. But luckily no one got seriously hurt during this siege, and they were able to take them down and basically solidify the end of the Shie Hassaikai, or one of the most notorious gangs in Japan. Now, Izuku would head back to UA finally, after dealing with the issues of Gigantomachia, and also we obviously know the Shie Hassaikai was handled. But he does have some training he wants to get through with his classmates, and that is with Class 1A versus Class 1B. And it's a pretty fun time for him. It's nothing too crazy. He does face off with some fellow students that he definitely was interested in training with, but it's really nothing crazy for say, because frankly, none of them really give him a big run for his money, and a lot of these things that would have happened normally just don't end up occurring. Izuku would love the thrill of this fight and love training, and it wouldn't take long for him to master One for All entirely. And as a first year going on to being a second year, he would be at a totally different level, to a level to the point where a lot of people believe that he is skilled enough and prepared enough to be a full-time pro hero. But Izuku has a lot to learn nonetheless, as a student and then eventually as a hero. He's learning more and more, and he progresses through his powers, but also rescue skills in general too. And he continues to help out those in need, and eventually it would lead him to what he believes to be his destiny, and that is becoming a full-fledged hero. After a couple more years at UA, gaining the title of one of the members of the Big Three, Izuku would finally make it. Izuku would be finally known as this person that is peak of heroic nature, and also at the same time is a person who is extremely friendly and smiley, and frankly is seen as the future of heroes and also the future next All Might. Yes, it might sound cliche, but Izuku basically shows everybody why he is going to be better and also the next All Might in general, and everybody is excited to see what he's truly capable of. But he's not the only one that has exceeded expectations, and not the only one that has progressed with many different things. Katsuki Bakugo getting better and better with his hero work, and starting at pretty much at the top of the food chain. And many other heroes that he's worked with, like Shoto Todoroki, has continued to level up and continued to gotten better and better throughout this time. And Izuku would eventually start his new agency and his own agency in the name of All Might. And he continues to work with Sir Night-Eye, in which him and Mirio would take up the Sir Night-Eye agency as their own, and would basically be a duo in it all. Mirio still having his quirk, and Mirio still being one of the top heroes, especially after he graduated as a third year. He would definitely be working with Izuku Midoriya and working together as Lemillion and Deku. They would both be working heavily together, and they would be working to preserve the peace that Japan has now upheld for a while, and continues to preserve that peace to this day. Izuku, Mirio, and many of his other classmates continue to show why the new generation of heroes, and the new generation of quirks, shows to be, or is proven to be, extremely powerful, and has proven to be extremely unique and also extremely proven. That is the main thing, and that is the main thing to be thinking about. And Izuku Midoriya continues to show why the potential is there, and the potential of him being the next #1 hero is just a matter of time. Because Izuku Midoriya has plans to be like All Might, and the #1 thing on that list is to be the #1 hero in Japan, and show every single person out there that he's not only the strongest, but he's also the greatest hero to ever exist. But with that said, that is the end of this What If. The end of what if Deku had Goku's mindset. And the real reason why I wanted to actually talk about this idea was because Goku's mindset is heavily involved in training, heavily involved in working hard, and also getting stronger. Yes, there are some negatives to Goku's mindset, but with the world of My Hero Academia, those negatives could massively change. And on top of that, we are dealing with a Goku that isn't actually Super Goku. I think a lot of you kind of recognize that I wasn't actually devolving into Super Goku, just because I honestly don't see Super Goku as actual Goku. I think it's ridiculous. And well, frankly, just to not get too off on a tangent, I think GT Goku is genuinely more like actual Goku than Super Goku genuinely is. Goku is very go-lucky, very wanting to get stronger, but he's not an absolute idiot. He's not absolutely stupid. In terms of grades and stuff like that, I can see him being dumb, like I've said in this story, but I just wanted to talk about that very briefly and have a quick tangent about it, because I did see someone bring it up in the comment section. But with that said, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you guys enjoyed the series, and I hope you guys enjoyed in general. But with that said, that is the end, and I hope all y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.